Well, the Phillies are back in the win column. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Hashtag Media to recap in tonight's game between the Phillies and the Miami Marlins as the Phillies defeat the Marlins by a final score of 3-2 as they take the first game of this 3-game series. And this 6-game homestand. I guess before getting into this video, please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please share, engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So in the bottom of the 9th inning, Bryce Harper doubles. Right, that was nice to see him finally collecting an extra base hit. And then they intentionally walked JT Realmuto because he's just been the man with runners in scoring position, especially against his former squad, so they could pitch to Gene Segura. And Gene Segura was frustrated, even was talking about it in the post-game interview. You don't disrespect me. And he made sure that a walk-off RBI single for Gene Segura after they intentionally walked the guy in front of him. That's certainly a way to make your opponent pay. So I certainly love to see that, right? So it wasn't the most exciting one in the world, that is for sure, but Aaron Nola was very, very good tonight, ladies and gentlemen, knocking up 10 strikeouts, getting his 200th strikeout of the season. So that's now 4 times in his career where he's had a season with 200 plus strikeouts. So that's very impressive for a guy like that. And, that certainly was one of the best charts I've seen at him in September in quite a while, right? This is a guy that does not pitch very well in the month of September during his career. Pick up the scoring summary here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Emilio Sosa homers on a fly ball to left field off of the foul pole, and the Phillies lead it 1-0. And that was Sosa's first ding-dong of the season. Think about that. So, of course, he's definitely made some noise. He certainly made some noise. Remember what he did against the Reds in Cincinnati? He certainly made some noise, but he finally gets his first round chipper out of the way. So that was really, really nice to see. Off the foul pole, ball was crushed. 1-0 Philadelphia. And John Cook was talking about it too. He's like, listen, he knows when he drives into the ballpark tomorrow, he's not going to be in the lineup. But still, he's stepping up and doing his job. And that's what you like to see, right? You like to see other guys step up. That is called complementary players. And it's something you just love to see. And then we pick it up here in the top of the 4th inning. Brian Anderson singles on a ground ball to center field. Joey Wendell comes around to score as the Marlins now tied at 1. So that was kind of frustrating. Right? We were able to get on the board in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and then right back in the top of the 4th inning, the Marlins tied. So that was kind of frustrating. Thinking like, it didn't take them long at all. That was really, really quick. Then we pick it up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. This was just absolutely crazy. A play that I thought, Brian Anderson had no chance at all at getting Emilio Sosa out at the plate, and it was a great throw, a nice one-hopper. Take a look at it. It was clear as day that Nick Fortes was blocking the plate before he had possession of the ball, and that is against the rules. Clearly. And I think it's a really, really kind of a silly rule, in my opinion. I think it's just totally over the top, but the rules are the rules. I'd say the same thing about it if it was the other way around. Album, it's a deep fly ball to left field. The wind really got a hold of it and pulled it back in towards the infield, and that kind of was we were kind of disadvantaged there. When he got that ball, I'm thinking like he has no chance of getting Emilio Sosa at the plate, and my goodness, was that a strong throw. And thankfully, Nick Fortes was blocking the plate before he had possession of the baseball because he would have been out by a mile. So Emilio Sosa was ruled safe as the call was overturned, and the Phillies now retake the lead now 2-1 ball game. So some nice fundamental baseball from a guy that really does well at the fundamental department. Now we pick it up here in the top of the 8th inning. Brian Anderson hits a sacrifice fly to right field as the throw was just cut off. He had no chances. Charles Lubeck comes around to score as the Marlins now tied at 2. So that was kind of frustrating there. Brian Hannon, he's really been struggling. Of course, that was allowed by Connor Brogdon, but Brian Hannon couldn't even get out of that 8th inning. Here's the thing that drove me nuts. Back was up at the plate. Brad Hand throws a pitch that, barely misses him, right? Right near his spikes. Jumps up out of the way, and the Marlins challenge it, and the call stood, and then the very next pitch he hits. It's like, oh my gosh. Of course, that run ended up scoring. So we have to do a better job at scoring more runs against this team. It's still something we need to see more of. And now, granted, we all know, everybody knows that this Marlins pitching staff is no pushover. But I mean, a win is a win. I'm not going to complain, but we do need to do a better job. We were scoring runs against these guys. So a 2-2 tie. Now we pick it up here in the bottom of the ninth inning. I mean, it almost looked like a little kid. During the celebration, he was very excited as Gene Segura singles on a line drive the other way to right field. Bryce Harper comes around to score, very fired up, and the Phillies win it 3-2. So, as I did mention before, Bryce Harper with his 24th double of the season. JT Realmuto was intentionally walked, and it made it first and second, 1 out for Gene Segura, and he made the Marlins pay for disrespecting him, right? I mean, I think that they just thought, oh, we would get him out, just produce a ground ball double play and get us out of this inning, head at the top of the 10th. No way. Gene Segura, Gene that machine, made sure that would not work. So that was just incredible. So I give him a lot of credit. So Gene Segura wins it tonight for the Phils. 3-2, your final. Win the first game of the 3-game series. Win the first game of the 6-game homestand. Kyle Schwarber out of the leadoff spot, just collecting a single and striking out twice. I mean, the home runs have been a big void with Kyle Schwarber recently. I've been very disappointed with him in that department. 215 average for him to go along with 78 RBIs, 36 home runs. At this point, I'm hoping he could get to 40 in a 798 OPS. His OPS now drops below the 800 mark. And I've been talking about it. I've heard other people in the city talking about it. Stop batting Kyle Schwarber leadoff. I think it's the thing that drives me crazy about Rob Thompson. He's not changing up this lineup enough. I mean, clearly, something's kind of going wrong with this offense recently. I mean, we need to change something up with Castellanos now being on the IL. Not that he was much of an impact anyway, just poking singles to right field. But stop batting this guy, Leon. He's not getting on base as much as he should. I mean, the walk department has been a huge negative with Schwarbs recently. I've been really down on him. He's been very, very underwhelming since the start of the second half of the season. I mean, I think everybody knows it. So he really needs to pick it up, man, in a big way. So OPS now drops below that 800 mark. I mean, he's been very disappointing. Stop adding him leadoff. I mean, clearly, start putting Bryson Stott leadoff. You know what I mean? He's a guy that I think could do very well in the leadoff spot. I mean, Gene Segura, a guy you think could do well in the leadoff spot, he just doesn't because we've seen him. He's not productive out of the leadoff spot. And Rhys Hoskins, he hit his performance tonight. We was able to draw a walk, a 248 average now for him. Just the hot and cold Hoskins, right? I mean, this is what he does. We didn't get to see it last year because he had the season-ending injury, but this is exactly what he did in 2019, exactly what he did in 2018. Now, in 2020, he actually was pretty good in September, but he just falls apart. He had it made, man. He was going to get 30 tanks, and now who knows? It's kind of up in the air. Who knows if he's going to get 30 tanks? This is a Phillies team that has really been struggling with the long ball recently. It's just kind of been strange. Alec Bohm, his performance tonight, was able to collect an RBI on the sacrifice fly. So I want to make a video, kind of talking about the Phillies as a whole. Right? I want to really go into depth with why Kyle Schwarber shouldn't be batting leadoff. Why he needs to be moved. I think the question needs to be asked, is this Alec Bohm's peak? Is this the best we're going to see out of this guy? A 300 average at 293 to go along with LBS. It sits at 730, 10 home runs, 62 RBIs. I'd like to see that power up a little bit. I mean, hey, that's not bad numbers. He's going to give you a pretty good defense overall if you just put it all together. But I do believe that Bryson Stott has a higher ceiling than Alec Bohm. I've said that for a while now. These two guys can hit the whole fields. I like to see that, but I mean, Alec Bohm lacks torque. In a big way. That's just my biggest thing I see out of Alec Bohm. And Bryson Stott, I mean, I just love how he just hits line drives to all parts of the field. And he provides really good defense. He has great range at short. So he did get the night off tonight. And Bryce Harper, only one hit was a big one. I think his 24th double of the season, and he would later go on to score in the Gene Segura single the other way in the bottom of the ninth inning. He did strike out 3 times. Certainly not a great night for him. And JT Realmuto, 1 knock tonight. And also drawing 2 walks, of course, one of them being an intentional walk. You gotta take a look at this guy. He's just been the man. He has really just been the man. Continues to just throw nukes behind home plate to throw out guys. An 806 OPS for the BCIB to go along with 70 RBIs. 273 average. I mean, this has been the best we've seen at him in a little while, right? I mean, this has just been incredible. So it's certainly, definitely an upgrade over last season where he gave us a 263 to go along with a 782 OPS. Go take a look at 2020, a shortened season, 840 OPS to 2019, 821 OPS. So this guy certainly has reinserted himself back in the conversation of the BCIB talk. Gene Segura, and it was a big one, the RBI single the other way to win it for the Phils. So that was just huge. Gene hit machine came through and he needed him. And I think he kind of used that as motivation. It's not a joke. It's really not a joke. And Matt Vierling just continues to prove as to why he shouldn't be starting every day out in center field, as he goes hitless, is so inconsistent. A 609 OPS, a lousy 609 OPS. I'd rather see Brandon Marsh out there every day. He has just been terrible. He's been absolutely terrible. Certainly, we're getting good defensive production out there, but we're just not getting anything at the plate. Dalton Guthrie made his Major League debut tonight as he got to start out in right field. So that was kind of interesting as he went 0 for 3. So not much out of him as he also went down and strikes twice. And Emmanuel Sosa, 2 knocks tonight. The double, his 10th of the season, and his first round trip of the season as well. Also drawing a walk. A very productive night for him. Actually, I think he's been more of a plus at the plate than on the defensive side. So I'd like to see him improve his defense, because that's really why he was traded for in the first place, right? But he's been everything we wish for more at the plate. He's just been incredible. So I love to see it, man. And Aaron Nola, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. The run was earned, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. As I did mention, he did collect his 200th strikeout of the season tonight, 4 times now in his career. That's very impressive. A 3.35 ERA for Aaron. He did not get the win, but he was still very good. So a round of applause for him, man. I mean, this is by far one of the best starts I've seen in the month of September in some time. This is a guy that really just doesn't do so well in the month of September, as we all know. But this certainly was an above-average start, much better than his last start in Arizona. And he loves pitching at home. He loves pitching at home. So, with Zach Lear hopefully coming back pretty soon, it'd be nice to have these guys. Hopefully Aaron Nola can get back on track and build off of this really impressive start today. His curveball was very good. The changeup had a lot of life on it. I mean, he looked night and day from his last start. So those are the 2 pitches I really look at for him. I mean, of course, he does have the cutter. He mixes in there, a little bit too when there's, runners on trying to generate a double play with less than 2 out. His fastball can be a little bit sneaky at times, but I just really generally look at the curveball and the changeup. The biggest weapons that he has in his repertoire, and they were very effective tonight. When they're very effective, usually he's very good. And Jose Alvarado, 3rd of an inning, he was able to collect that strikeout to get him out of that 7th inning. And Brad Hand, I mean, the struggling Brad Hand, not very good recently. A 3rd of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, the run was earned. Man, he's just not been, he's really just been struggling with his control. A 2.41 ERA for him in 41 innings pitched. However, his last 7 appearances, a 4.26 ERA. So he's starting to kind of, get a little fatigue. I mean, he's certainly been one of my favorite names coming out of bullpen this year. I mean, I've been very vocal about it. I love what Brad Hand's been able to do. And Connor Brogdon, 2/3 innings, and is also able to collect his strikeout. Allowed the sacrifice fly, but as I said, that run obviously was charged to Brad Hand. Since he allowed that run under reach. And David Robertson, inning 1 hit, 2 walks and 1 strike. I mean, I just feel bad for this guy. It's like the work that he is required to do. This is incredible. I mean, he had 40-plus pitches the other day in San Fran, and then 2 days later, he's coming in. So, I mean, this guy, the workload he's had to endure as a closer has just been unbelievable. It's just really just been unbelievable, and I give him a lot of credit for being able to handle it. Because, honestly, a guy his age, it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, he's not used to this, right? I mean, a guy that's, 37 years old, so certainly a lot. So a 2.30 ERA for Dave Robinson, certainly been worth the trade, right? Over, from the Chicago Cubs. I've been a big fan of what he's been able to do. Despite those 2 little, hiccups with allowing the 2-run shot to Flores the other day in San Fran and allowing the go-ahead home run to Canna, a few weeks ago against the Mets. I mean, he's still been very, very good. I'm still willing to put that behind. 4-2 now on the year. For Robertson. So that was a nice first game W of the series. Luckily, the Diamondbacks are leading 3-0 over the San Diego Padres, the overrated Padres, in the top of the 5th inning. So please win. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please share, engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section at Phillies Hot Stove Media, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Hot Stove Media. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me phillieshotsmedia@gmail.com. Trevor Rogers, 4-10 with a 5.57 ERA going against Bailey Falter. He's been probably our best option coming out of rotation. 3-3 with a 4.08 ERA. I'm Luke and I'll talk to you. Let's go Phils. See you guys.